Yo, what is going on, you slackers? I am your host, Slackerz Gaming, bringing you another episode of Right There Chances. If you haven't seen the series, practically every single Sunday I do 2 of these episodes. In each episode, I go over one specific character. I will be going over pros and cons, and then at the end, I'll give my personal opinion from a 0 to a 100%. Percentage for what I believe that character has to be playable in the upcoming Super Smash Bros. Ultimate for the Nintendo Switch. So let's just get right into it. And as you can tell on screen, it is the little robot himself, Chibi Robo. I mean, now this character's kind of in an interesting spot, I would say. He's like, okay, popularity. Okay, so let me back up just a bit. So usually when I do these, I like to go over quite a few categories. Popularity, moveset, I guess relevancy, is, things like that. Would they fit as like a WTF character? Would they fit as a retro character? Or do they just get kind of lumped in with a... Do they deserve to be added as one of the newest Nintendo All-Stars, quote-unquote, there? So, let's get into Chibi Robo. So, first thing I want to go over with is, well, we'll start with the pros. So, popularity. It's there, and it's not. I'm labeling this under a pro because the character is known at least, and if you're known, at least you're going to get more consideration, I would think, when... coming up with the newest roster for the newest Smash Bros. Game. So Chibi Robo, I believe he's had 5 games, and he originated back on the GameCube, and I think that was, I want to say 2005. So he's had 5 games since 2005, which is pretty respectable. You know, he's not the biggest franchise that Nintendo has by any means, but his name and series are somewhat known. So I'm gonna kind of list that on the positive, on the pro side of things, but it's not a big pro in his favor, but it's still somewhat of a pro, especially when we're getting, a roster this big and, who could really be, considered for characters. I think Chibi Robo definitely could throw his name in the hat for once. And, so popularity, it could be a bit iffy, but I'm labeling that as a pro. Another pro, I think this one's actually a pretty good one. He's like a... if you played any of the Chibi Robo games, and I'm just going to use his latest game as an example, pardon me there, but if you use his latest game, Ziplash, he runs around and he uses his plug and his cord a lot for throughout the whole game because, well, that's kind of what he, that's what he attacks with. That's how he kind of stays alive. That's how he charges himself. So I think, a moveset with that, you could kind of maybe think of it like I could maybe like a whip kind of user, if that makes sense. Not like how Simon Belmont would use it, but it's attached to him. You throw it and it comes right back. So a whip in that sort of sense, I guess, could make sense. But if you've seen Ziplash, or if you can at least picture this, so he launches his cord and his plug, to attack his enemies. He can also use it to like ricochet off of walls and floors and ceilings and stuff. So I think if you could somehow incorporate that into his moveset, that'd be pretty cool, actually. It'd make him pretty unique, actually be able to, I guess reflect, or not reflect, but like deflect his own attacks off of surfaces and structures and stuff like that. That'd be pretty unique, but you can't make it, you can't make the cord too, it can't have it like infinite range because that's really broken. And I don't know. I just think that would be pretty unique for a character and moveset wise. Another positive thing that I want to say is he does have an amiibo. I know that's not like a huge, like, oh yeah, that's huge pro. Yeah. No, but there's characters out there that don't even have their own amiibo, and they're they're way more popular than Chibi Robo. But Chibi does have his own amiibo, and you can tell on the screen here. So I don't know, I just wanted to throw that in. I thought it was pretty unique. He got his own, I think it came with his game Ziplash. When did Ziplash come out? 2015 I think is when it came out, and that was on the 3DS. So I don't know, I just wanted to throw out that he does have his own amiibo, and there's not many characters that really do have their own amiibo that aren't already like Smash characters, for the most part. But that's kind of interesting. But I guess we got that's all I really got for the pros. Not too many, but there's a couple in there. So I guess we got to move on to the cons now. and the first con that I'm going to go over is going to be kind of going back to the popularity. You could say it's kind of a pro, it's kind of a con, but and I'm going to take it in this kind of term, in this kind of sense. The Smash ballot. Chibi Robo wasn't really like a character that people were, voting for. There was there's tons of other characters that were getting votes. Sure, there might have been, a few here and there that were like, yeah, Chibi Robo, that'd be great for, the roster. And while I do agree if he got into the roster, I'd be okay with that. That kind of leads me to another con here. He's not a character that really generates a lot of buzz about himself. And, when talking with people about Chibi, it's kind of like they don't request him, but if he got into the roster, people are okay with it. It's not something that's, highly or even mid-level demanded or requested. It's just kind of like, oh, Chibi's there. If he gets in, cool. If he doesn't, no big deal. I mean, you could probably say that with a lot of characters, but Chibi's kind of in a weird place, popularity-wise, and that's got to go against him. People that are nobody's really requesting you. It's ultimately up to Sakurai, and if he does listen to the fans, I think he does. Well, look at Ridley, for example. After all these years, he finally put Ridley in. Thank you, Sakurai. We appreciate that. But I think, I don't know. It just comes down to Sakurai. What does he really feel about the character? Is Chibi worth a spot on the roster? And especially since it's, Smash Ultimate, and he told us not to expect too many newcomers in this one. And, a lot of people are taking it as we already got Ridley and Inklings. You could probably throw Daisy in there, newcomer. Sure, she's an Echo. Does that really count as a newcomer? I'm still going to include her anyway. But a lot of people are taking it. We're not going to get more than, maybe 10. The latest thing going around is there's a total of 11, and there's going to be, I think they named 4 for DLC, and that's just nuts. But back on point here. So the idea of, of Chibi getting added into the game this time around, I really do feel pretty low. If he got in, I'm in the same boat as a lot of people. If he got in, that'd be cool. He'd be a very unique fighter. I think maybe someday Chibi deserves his spot on the roster. I think he does, but for my official, rating, I don't think it's going to be high, honestly. Honestly, I'm going to put it maybe at 15%. Maybe that's a bit high still, but just, he's not too popular. He's not requested enough. He's not, I don't want to say relevant, but because, his last game was, 3 years ago? So a lot of people are like, oh, you haven't had a game in 3 years. That's not relevant. But, I just think, especially with the whole timing of, or not the timing, but the whole aspect of not having too many newcomers. Again, unless Sakurai's pulling the sheets over our eyes, but I don't think Chibi's making it this time again. I'm going to say 15%, not too big for Chibi. He would be very unique. Going back to his moveset potential real quick, something I just thought of. His final smash would be easy. You can just do Giga Robo. Chibi, moveset-wise, easy, done. People wouldn't mind having him in, but he's not requested. He's, I don't know. Let me know your thoughts and opinions about Chibi down in the comments. Do you think Chibi actually is one of the more legit contenders to get on the roster, or are you kind of with me and he's kind of at the low end of characters being considered this time? But yeah, again, 15% is what I got. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. I will try to. I will read and try to reply to as many as I can. And I guess with that being said, this video is coming to an end. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and hopefully we catch you guys on the next one. Peace out, everybody.